at the June 2015 Human and Social Biology paper 1. This is the multiple choice paper, and it has 60 questions, and you have to complete all the questions within the hour and 15 minutes that are designated. The choices are always A, B, C, or D. And this paper is not about what is factually correct, but about choosing the best answer. You want the best answer to what the question asks, not what is just factually correct, but the best answer. And on the multiple choice answer sheet, you will shade your corresponding selection, A, B, C, or D. So we are getting off with question 1. And I want to start off by letting you know that the paper, the multiple choice paper, this paper 1 follows the syllabus. So the syllabus starts with section A, followed by section B, C, D, and E. Likewise, you should expect that in the multiple choice. So this first question, this question 1, will obviously be from section A of the syllabus. The process by which living organisms get their energy from food. Respiration is the answer. Respiration is the answer. Question 2, which of the following have cellulose cell walls as part of their structure? And they give you the choice. Fungi, plants, bacteria, and you must select the ones that have. And we know that fungi, plants, and bacteria all have cell wall. So we are looking at D for the answer, 1, 2, and 3. During osmosis, the movement of water molecules through the semi-permeable membrane continues until, and this question, just take your time and read it carefully. Osmosis is the movement of water molecules, and they have structured the question kind of confusing. So let's go through the answers. A, the amount of water molecules is equal on both sides. That doesn't mean the concentration is equal on both sides. So having water molecules equal on both sides is not necessarily the answer. The hydrostatic pressure equals the osmotic pressure. That's a good answer. The osmotic pressure equals the osmotic potential. Potential is the ability for it to move, like the gradient. Turgidity and fluidity are equal. Turgid is when something is full. Flaccid is when something is empty. So that is out. We are looking between B and C, and the hydrostatic pressure equals the osmotic pressure is the better answer. Question 4. The amount of energy in food chains decreases at each trophic level. 1, there is less organisms. 2, respiration occurs. 3, the organisms are more active. And for this question 4, we are going with 2, respiration does occur, and 3, the organisms are more active. Remember, they are talking about the energy. So we are going with C. Question 5, microorganisms are an important part of the nitrogen cycle. Now, the nitrogen cycle is no longer in the syllabus with respect to this exams past the 2022 June exam. So we will just answer this question, but you don't have to prepare this question. Microorganisms are an important part of the nitrogen cycle. Which of the following microorganisms contribute directly to nitrate buildup in soil? So for question 5, we're just going to tell you the answer. It is D. Question 6, which of the following foods would best prevent constipation? You know, constipation is caused by a lack of water and fiber. So we are looking for anything that is suggesting that. And fruits and vegetable salad do have a lot of fiber in them. So that's our best answer. Which of the following reagents give a positive test for the main food present in a slice of baked potato? a slice of baked potato. And if you are thinking about a baked potato, you are thinking about either carbohydrates or starch. Which one are you thinking of? Carbohydrate or starch? Which means burette, which is for protein, is out. Ethanol, which is for fat, is out. So it's either iodine solution or Benedict. Iodine is for starch. Benedict is for a reducing sugar, like glucose, which is a carbohydrate. So it's between those choices, and the better answer is starch, which means iodine is the correct answer. Number 8, kwashiorkor is a deficiency disease caused by a lack of which food group? This one, the name makes it memorable. Proteins. Proteins. Question 9. Item A. Item 9 refers to the following diagram, which shows the structure of a typical tooth. Which of the parts labeled A, B, C, or D supplies the tooth with food? And we are looking at it. We need to follow the line. Yes, it is kind of not the best of copies, but you could see the line going across here to the pulp cavity. So we know that C is the answer for question 9. Question 10. Refer to the following diagram, which shows a part of the digestive tract of a human. In answering items 10 and 11, each option may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Which organ secretes a substance which neutralizes hydrochloric acid? And we are looking for the pancreas. The pancreas for question 10, that secretes it. When the food moves into the small intestines, the pancreas secretes the bicarbonate, which does its job in neutralizing hydrochloric acid. Which organ, question 11, is responsible for the digestion of protein only? The digestion of protein only occurs in the stomach. So C. For question 11, the answer is C. Question 12, which of the following are properties of enzymes? They work best at a particular pH. That is correct. They have an optimum pH. They are not affected by temperature. That is incorrect. They work only on one substrate. That is correct. So we are looking for 1 and 3, which is B. Question 13. The process by which undigested food is eliminated from the body is called egestion. So that automatically puts it to question A. This is a popular question. Do not mix up egestion and excretion. Excretion is the removal of metabolic waste, all right? Not undigested waste. It would make excretion urination, as an example. Question 14. Which of the following combinations show the correct percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide found in the lungs of a healthy person? So it means this person has basically taken a breath in, and depending on which book you read, you might see that 20% or 21% for oxygen, and carbon dioxide is always at 0.03%. So D is the answer. Question 15. Climbing up a mountain, a group of hikers find that breathing becomes difficult. This is most likely because as you go higher in the atmosphere and with altitude, there is less oxygen. Yeah, there is less oxygen. So they ask for the best answer. You see this most likely in bold. This is the best answer, as opposed to the temperature drops and the air is colder. Right? These other answers are actually happening. They lose too much water by sweating. They become tired from the long walk. All of them could be factually correct, but this one is the best answer. Question 16. Which of the following properties of membranes are required for rapid gaseous exchange? Moist, yes. Inside your lungs is moist. Thin walled, yes. Small surface area to volume ratio, no. We want that in the opposite way. High surface area to volume ratio. So we are looking for 1 and 2. So that makes question 16 A. During respiration, the release of energy in a cell occurs when ATP is converted to ADP. This works just like a battery. Think of it as a battery. When you put in the battery into the system, into the appliance, it uses the energy from the battery. When you want to recharge the battery, you have to put back in the energy, and we know the energy is in these bonds. So adenosine triphosphate, when a bond is broken, the energy is used. And when you convert back from ADP, adenosine diphosphate, to ATP, you reform the bond, so you have recharged the battery. And they have asked you how to release the energy. Hence, you go from ATP, the triphosphate, to diphosphate. Let's move on to item 18, which gives us a graph. Which of the following can be deduced from the graph? And we see this graph is on the number of cigarettes smoked per day and the increase of lung cancer. And as you increase the number of cigarettes, the risk of lung cancer also increases. Nearly a straight line, not quite, but the risk increases. So we want to get that information from the answers. And the only answer offering that is A. As the number of cigarettes smoked per day increases, the risk of getting lung cancer increases. So we are going with A. Question 19, and I hope persons are tracking that now we have been in section B of the syllabus. We did nutrition, we did respiration, now we are on to circulation, then comes a musculoskeletal system, then excretion, nervous system, reproduction. So we continuing in that order as we go through this section, the questions. We are on number 19. Why do we need transport systems in the human body? They give us 3 Roman numerals to transport substances from one part of the body to another. That makes sense. To produce hormones for coordination of body processes, to protect the body against diseases. And we know, if we are thinking that the transport system does not produce hormones, there is an endocrine system that does the production of hormones. So we are taking out number 2. So we are looking for 1 and 3, which puts us at B. Number 20 refers to the following diagram, the human heart, and we see the parts of the heart identified A, B, C, and D. So question 20, which label part contracts to pump blood around the heart? And if we are thinking, they need to identify a muscular part of the heart and around the body. So we are looking at C. D is a chamber. All right, it is the left ventricle. This is where the blood will be, but that is not the part that contracts. We are looking for the muscular part. That is why we chose C. Item 21 refers to the following diagram of a cell. The diagram most likely represents what? This lobed nucleus is the giveaway. This nucleus that is lobe-shaped tells you it is a white blood cell and that you are thinking about a phagocyte. The other type of white blood cell, they have a lymphocyte. The nucleus of the lymphocyte takes up most of the cell, and it's circular. All right, so the mere fact that you see this lobed nucleus means you are thinking about a phagocyte. Let's go to question 22. Capillaries have very thin walls which have only one layer of cells. This is to allow what? Rapid diffusion of gases and glucose. Yes, that's correct. Slow diffusion. No, we ain't doing anything with slow diffusion. Rapid diffusion of proteins and fats. Well, proteins and fats need to do diffusion. There's actually proteins that transport proteins and fats, and they would not be in the state of proteins and fats, right? They will be in the state in your blood of amino acids and fatty acids. All right, fatty acids and glycerols is how fat is broken down, and protein is broken down into amino acids. So these two, C and D, this is a mistake in the paper to have two C's, but nevertheless, both of them are wrong, and we are going with rapid diffusion. Which of the following vitamins assist in the process of blood clotting? That is vitamin K, which the answer is D. So vitamin K, the answer is D. 24. Item 24 refers to the following diagram, which shows parts of the human skeleton. Which of the following combinations correctly identify the bones labeled X, Y, and Z? We have X being the humerus, that nice long bone that runs through our thigh. We have Y, make sure you watch the label line correctly. Notice it's going to the thicker of the two bones, and Z is going to the thinner bone. All right, so when we put them in order of X, Y, Z, we are looking at the femur, the tibia, and the fibula. Item 25 refers to the following diagram of a human arm. Which of the following occurs when the arm is bent or flexed? The arm is bent or flexed means the bicep shortens, the bicep contracts, it pulls on the radius, and the tricep relaxes. So which one says that? For 25, we are going with the bicep pulls on the radius. 26, which of the following connects muscle to bone? And instantly that has jumped out as the tendon. The ligament connects bone to bone, muscle, well, muscle is muscle, and cartilage is in between bones at joints. 27, which of the following allows movement in all directions? And they give you the knee, ankle, elbow, shoulder, and the shoulder is a 360-degree joint, which is a ball and socket, and that one allows us to go in all directions. So D for 27. 28, you see we're entering into excretion and homeostasis. 28, which of the following sets of constituents is found in the urine of a healthy person? You should have urea, you should have some salts, just trace amounts, and water. So that gives us C. You shouldn't have glucose. That person isn't healthy. That person has diabetes. If you have proteins, you probably may have an infection or you may have kidney failure. Likewise, D, the person is probably dying. Question 29. Liam notices that his face is flushed red after playing football. Which of the following processes causes his face to be flushed? The face is being red is that blood is closer to the surface of his skin. And that happens when your veins, your capillaries are trying to lose heat. Remember, he's playing football, he's doing an activity. He's most likely playing outside, he's excited, he's running about. So his body is in an attempt to keep at the same temperature will try to bring his blood closer to the surface of the skin, and that is called vasodilation, which is C. Item 30 refers to the following diagram, which shows a cross-section of the human skin. The structure labeled X is what? And they just have one structure labeled X, as you can see right here. The structure labeled X is what? And we know this as a sebaceous gland. All the other answers do not make sense, especially where the labeling is. A hair follicle, that is here. And look, it has a strand of hair coming out, so that's not labeled. Sweat gland, the sweat gland area is down here, which makes the sweat pore on top here. And adipose tissue or kind of fatty tissue, look, they drew it with little circles here. So that is not the labeled spot either. So question 30 is sebaceous gland. Item 31 refers to the following cycle, which shows the control of water content in the blood by antidiuretic hormone, ADH. Which of the following pairs shows the processes taking place at S and N? So if more ADH is released, then more water is reabsorbed. If less ADH is released, it means less water is reabsorbed. The answer that is hinting to that is B. Not seeming to yet. B. All right. Just make sure with this question that you read the letters correctly. S is on this side and N on this side. And we are starting to go over into questions of coordination and control. The central nervous system is made up of the brain and spinal cord. This is a very popular question. Let's take our time when we are trying to answer it. Brain and spinal cord. Item 33 refers to the following diagram of a motor neuron. Which labeled part is the axon? The axon, it's very similar to the word axis. So it's a part that's running straight throughout the motor neuron, which is this part here. And we see that corresponds to the letter C in our answer sheet. C. Item 34 refers to the following diagram of a human eye showing image formation. This is human eye. The image X is not, and you have to fill in the rest. The image X is not, this is the retina. This location is the retina, but remember, the image is quite here. This is where the image has been formed. So the image is not formed on the retina. All right? It is not formed on the retina. So B. Inverted, it is inverted. If you follow the lines, you see the lines cross over. So this is inverted. All right? So inverted is wrong because they ask not. Smaller than the image, if you just measure this, you'll see it lines up. The same size as the image. All right, let's be serious. All right, so formed on the retina. Item 35 refers to the following diagram showing some of the organs of the body which produce hormones, and they label the pancreas S. Which hormone is secreted by S? And we know the S is the pancreas. So we are thinking about insulin. Adrenaline, it's not labeled, but it's right above the kidneys. Estrogen, that is from by the ovaries, that's down here, but it's not labeled. Thyroxine, look, it's in the person's neck, but it's not labeled as well. So the only one that is labeled by S is insulin. Item 36. Which of the following comparisons is not true for nervous and hormonal control? Look, they put the not in capital letters. Always pay attention when they put it in capital letters. It is the question writer trying to give you a hint to arrive at the correct answer. And if we just read them, we see that the one that is not true is messages travel slowly and take longer to have an effect. The nervous system, it's electricity, it's going really fast. So by saying messages travel slowly, that falls into not true. Likewise, to the hormonal control messages travel fast and have rapid effect. That, again, is not true. So the answer for question 36 is D. Ovulation is the process by which females become pregnant. No, it is not. A male and female gametes fuse. That's called fertilization. It is not. An egg is implanted into the uterus. No. A mature egg is released into the oviduct. Yes. So D. D is the answer for number 37. And number 38 refers to the following diagram, which shows the human spermatozoa. And we have A, B, C, and D labeling of the sperm. And they ask which of the labeled parts contain mitochondria. And you know mitochondria is responsible for energy. And the part that requires a lot of energy is the tail for swimming. So you need to feed energy into the tail. And these little balls in the diagram is the answer. All right, C is the nucleus and D is a little vacuole. The corpus luteum in question 39 secretes what? And if we remember the corpus luteum, we know progesterone. Progesterone is the answer that we're looking at. Estrogen is from the ovaries, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, pituitary. So progesterone is the only answer. Question 40. Which of the following methods of birth control is least effective in preventing pregnancy? Again, capital letters jump out at us. So we want which one is the poorest one or the worst one? We have natural, barrier, hormonal, mechanical, and natural. Natural is the worst one, is whereby people are trying to work it out in their head or think about it or counting days randomly. All right, so that one is the least effective. 41. Which of the following occurs when a zygote receives one extra chromosome? And you may know this as Down syndrome as an example. So one extra chromosome is a chromosomal mutation. D being the answer. Question 42. In a multicellular organism, whenever cells need to be replaced, cells divide by, and I hope persons are thinking about mitosis. All right, remember cells are being replaced. You don't want variety. Fission, I have no idea why they're suggesting that. Fertilization, no egg and sperm need to fuse to replace cells. So mitosis is the correct answer. Let's go on to question 43. Refers to the following genetic cross, which shows the inheritance of blood groups in humans. Alleles A and B are codominant to each other, and both are dominant to O. This is blood. So we have a genetic diagram or the start of it. Which of the following offspring inherited the homozygous recessive allele? Remember they said that O is recessive to the two alleles A and B. So we are looking for a person who has OO. So we are following the O's. One O is here, one O is here, and they both line up here. So we are looking at N, which is D. Item 44. Which of the following is an example of genetic engineering? And the one that the syllabus encourages you to learn is the production of insulin. So we see that jumping out at us. Do make sure and take your time to read all the answers. But D is the answer. Which of the following cannot be prevented by healthy living activities? Notice the cannot in capital letters. It's jumping out at us. Influenza, sickle cell anemia, iron deficiency anemia, chronic heart disease. Cannot is the word. So which of these are a genetic disease? Sickle cell anemia. So no matter how much healthy living activities you take part, once you have it in your genes, you have it in your genes. Seema has the following signs, symptoms: constriction of her bronchial tubes, coughing and wheezing. She's most likely suffering from asthma. All right. So we are heavy into section D, diseases. Item 47 refers to the following diseases: A, tuberculosis; B, typhoid; C, ringworm; D, gonorrhea. Match each of the following phrases with one of the options above, each of which may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Remember, it's 2 questions that you have to choose these answers from. Caused by a fungus. 47 is ringworm. Ringworm is caused by a fungus, so that answer is 47 is C. And for 48, causes severe diarrhea and abdominal pains. And that will be from that is provided, typhoid. Tuberculosis is respiratory. Gonorrhea is sexual. So typhoid, or B, is the answer for 48. Going on to question 49. Antibiotics are chemicals which can safely be taken into the body. They do not harm human cells, but they destroy bacteria. Item 50 refers to the following diagram, which shows the stages in the cell cycle of a mosquito. We have 1 starting with the adult, 2 the eggs, 3 the larva, 4 the pupa. Which of the following stages are found in or on water? Eggs, larva, and pupa. So we are looking for 2, 3, and 4. And the only one that gives us those options is D. Item 50 refers to the following diagram. We have a overlooking property. This is housing. We have food storage warehouse. Sewage works, swamp. This looks like a road passing here, a waterway passing here, some more road passing here. Where is leptospirosis vector most likely to be found? And we are thinking leptospirosis, we are thinking rats, rodents, and they are most likely to be found food storage warehouse, C. 52. Which of the following cells does the AIDS virus attack? And we know they attack white blood cells, but the best answer they give us phagocytes, which is a form of white blood cell. Erythrocytes, those are red blood cells. Lymphocytes, another type of white blood cells. And muscle cells, well, muscle cells are just muscle cells. So which one do they attack? They attack the ones that produce antibodies, which is the lymphocytes. So 52, the answer is C. 53, which of the following gases contributes most to the greenhouse effect? And I think if we just generally listen to any news, we know that carbon dioxide, they ask the most. Remember, those capital letters should jump out to you. The other gases do contribute to the greenhouse effect, but they ask for which one contributes the most. What is the effect of carbon monoxide on the human body? Prevents uptake of oxygen by blood, damages cilia. What is the effect of carbon monoxide on the human body? Prevents oxygen uptake by blood, damages cilia present on the trachea, causes eye irritation, and reduce visibility, has a toxic effect on the nervous system. So we want which one is the best answer, and we are going to go with A. It does have a toxic effect on the nervous system, but prevents oxygen uptake by blood is an even more thing, because we know carbon monoxide irreversibly binds to hemoglobin, right? So 54, we went with A. You could let us know if you would have chosen A for this question in the comments, and if this question is acceptable to you. This is one of the hardest questions in this multiple choice, so do let us know how you would have fared with it. 55, the process by which water vapor changes to water. That process is condensation. The most effective way of purifying water in the home is what? By boiling and freezing, filtering and freezing, boiling and chlorination, chlorination and filtering. And remember these capital letters for the word most jumps out at us. So we are looking at C, boiling and chlorination. 57, we're in the last few questions, which mean we are down in section E, and they give us a graph which shows the oxygen concentration in a river for 5 weeks, week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 identified here. We see the graph take a dip around week 2, and then it start to kind of come back up a little after week 3. The oxygen concentration level is most likely affected by what? Sewage. Dissolved oxygen concentration means if it takes a dip, something has used up the oxygen in the river. So it's not lead that's leading to it, it's sewage because of algal bloom, eutrophication. That's why it's sewage. Which of the following stages are involved in the biological filter method for sewage treatment? Residual matter is dried and used to make methane, screening of large objects, stones covered with aerobic bacteria and protozoa which feed on organic matter, compressed air supplies oxygen in aeration tanks for aerobic bacteria. And all of these are true. All of these are part of the biological filter method. Some persons might be thinking about this compressed air. This works the same way as your fish tank at home. You need to put air into the water for the bacteria to respire. All right, remember, bacteria is a living organism. So this also makes sense. So the one that gives us 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is all, is D. 59, which of the following gases is produced in a landfill site? And I hope everyone is screaming methane when they read this question. A substance is biodegradable if it can be broken down by some living organism. And in this case, bacteria is a living organism, so it can be broken down by bacteria to harmless material. Cannot, makes B wrong. Is broken down by sunlight? Nope. C is wrong. Is broken down by chemicals that have nothing to do with bio. So A becomes the answer. And that brings us to the end of this paper 1. Do let us know how you fared. And do remember to subscribe to encourage us to release more papers. This is the Human and Social Biology paper for June 2015, paper 1.